The WNBA has experienced a notable increase in viewership and ratings in 2024, primarily attributed to Caitlyn Clark's presence and her exceptional rookie season. The former Iowa standout has significantly contributed to the elevation of the league, yet her remarks also illuminate some of the difficulties currently faced by the NBA, particularly a discernible decline in viewership. As stated in an official NBA communication, the league has encountered difficulties with reduced ratings in recent years, with 4 of the least viewed NBA finals in the last decade occurring over the past 4 seasons. This decline in cable viewership is not exclusive to the league, as nearly all sports are witnessing similar reductions. Nonetheless, NBA viewership has only decreased by 3% in comparison to the previous year, in contrast to the -18% reported last month. Various factors contribute to year-over-year fluctuations, including a 13% drop in cable viewership compared to the prior year. During her appearance on the New Heights with Jason and Amp, Travis Kelce podcast, Caitlyn Clark shared her insights regarding the downturn in NBA ratings. One of her key observations was that casual basketball spectators often fail to recognize the level of skill exhibited by NBA players. "I feel like the average basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are and they think they're not trying. I assure you, they're trying. They're simply so proficient that it appears they aren't exerting effort." Clark additionally commented on the changing style of play within the NBA, indicating that the physicality of the game has evolved. "The physicality of the league has changed significantly," she remarked. "I wasn't present when the game was considerably more physical. Perhaps audiences desire more robust physicality and believe the play has become less intense. I think the skill set has simply transformed. It will diverge from how it was during MJ's era. It will differ in 10 years from how it is today." Clark further acknowledged competition from football as another significant element influencing the NBA's challenges with viewership. "It's competing against a great deal of football at the moment," she observed. "This factor must be taken into account. Football is simply America's preferred pastime. Although viewership experienced a decline at the season's onset due to various factors such as the Yankees-Dodgers World Series, the presidential election, injuries to prominent players, and a double-digit downturn in overall cable viewership, an upward trend has emerged as the season has unfolded. Leading into Christmas Day, NBA viewership rose every week in December, with an average week-over-week increase of 7%. NBA games consistently rank as the most viewed cable programs among highly sought-after demographics. Streaming now comprises nearly half, 42%, of total television consumption. The NBA is responding to these shifts in viewing habits by implementing new media agreements, ensuring that every national game will be accessible on a streaming platform starting next season. Furthermore, the league is amplifying the number of regular season games broadcast on television from 15 to 75. Caitlyn Clark is poised to undertake another significant venture. The Indiana Fever star, already recognized as a prominent figure in basketball, is set to feature in a special episode of the immensely popular New Heights podcast, hosted by NFL siblings Jason and Travis Kelce. When the Kelce brothers announced this news on Wednesday, fans were filled with excitement. In his characteristic meticulous manner, Jason took the opportunity to enumerate Caitlyn's extensive achievements. Remarkably, even he appeared impressed. Summarizing her accomplishments at the age of 22 is no trivial matter. Women's Health magazine received an exclusive preview of the episode and provided insights into the themes Caitlyn addresses, offering fans a glimpse of the content to expect when the episode is released. Caitlyn shares in the excitement of the occasion. "I don't often get excited about many things, but this was at the forefront of my list," she conveyed to the brothers with a broad smile. Her enthusiasm was palpable, leading Travis to jokingly remark to Jason, "We made it, Jason," as though they were in a competitive scenario, highlighting their affection for their guest. This podcast promises to be a delightful experience for Caitlyn's supporters and basketball enthusiasts. According to Women's Health, which previewed the episode, there is much to anticipate, particularly Caitlyn's insights regarding her ascent within the basketball arena. A notable highlight of the conversation is Caitlyn's reflection on how her parents maintained her humility amidst her rise to prominence. "I feel really fortunate," she stated, recalling her upbringing. While many young athletes might be overwhelmed by college recruitment pressures, Caitlyn's parents prioritized her enjoyment of middle school. "They wanted me to be in 7th grade, enjoy middle school, and socialize with my friends," she clarified. "Like, you shouldn't be worried about where you'll attend college." Such a balanced upbringing appears to have had a significant impact. "I was never in a hurry," Caitlyn continued. "My parents excelled at ensuring I had a robust support system. It wasn't solely about recruitment or basketball, it was about surrounding myself with the right individuals." Now, just ahead of her sophomore season in the WNBA, Her appearance on the Kelsey Brothers podcast provides the public with an opportunity to view a different dimension of the dynamic slam-dunking, clutch three-point shooter. Caitlyn presents herself as contemplative, relatable, and, undoubtedly, deeply passionate about the sport she cherishes. This engagement also signifies her expanding influence within the sports realm, as Jason and Travis Kelce, known for featuring high-profile guests, were keen to host her on their platform. Given her talent, charisma, and compelling narrative, it is unsurprising that she captured their interest. Clark articulated her long-standing admiration for the Chiefs while dispelling speculation that she is a bandwagon supporter of the Kansas City franchise. "My father was an avid Chiefs supporter during my upbringing, and people presume that I am merely a fair-weather Chiefs fan. However, I have been a supporter long before Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce joined the team," she stated. "We have been dedicated fans, and your team's considerable success has certainly enhanced the enjoyment of it all." Upon inquiry regarding her favorite Chiefs player, she unequivocally named number 87. "Clearly, it has to be Travis," Clark remarked as the Kelce siblings applauded. "I hold great admiration for Patrick Mahomes as well. Both of you are exceptional. You and Patrick share a unique competitive edge, that clutch factor, which many others lack," she added. The trio also reflected on Clark's history of attending Chiefs games and her relationship with Chiefs general manager Brett Veach, who met Clark in 2022 while Iowa participated in the Big Ten Championship, during Veach's attendance at the NFL Combine. Clark disclosed that she first encountered Travis Kelce in Indianapolis when she attended Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in November, as the Chiefs star was present to support his notably famous girlfriend. Swift, who has been romantically linked to the Kansas City Chiefs tight end since 2023, has experienced a historic past couple of years, leading a tour that amassed an astounding $2,077,618,725 and eclipsed Coldplay's $1 billion milestone, thus becoming the highest-grossing tour in history. "My mother was urging me to accompany her, stating, 'I have to go. Everyone is talking about it,' and I replied, 'All right.' I literally reside downtown adjacent to Lucas Oil Stadium," she recounted. "The performance was exceptional and highly enjoyable, and I undoubtedly transformed my mother into a devoted Swiftie." Towards the conclusion of the podcast, the brothers inquired about Clark's perspectives on the current status of basketball, particularly regarding the NBA and the modifications implemented to its All-Star game, along with the introduction of the in-season tournament. Kevin Durant mentioned this idea, but returning to the East versus West format would represent the true All-Stars, she commented. "I believe that is what it ought to be, although I am not in a position to make such decisions." Jason, the elder of the two Kelce siblings, voiced his disapproval regarding the NBA's in-season tournament, specifically criticizing the alternate floor colors for the teams, asserting that he considers the tournament to be of minimal significance. "I feel it was well received in its inaugural year but has somewhat diminished in popularity this season," she remarked. "However, it is intriguing as they attempt to enhance its appeal." This season, there has been considerable discourse about the apparent decline in NBA viewership. When the brothers questioned Clark about the reasons for this trend, the 22-year-old attributed it to the league's evolving physicality and the increased prevalence of three-point shooting, which may alienate some fans. "I believe that the typical basketball enthusiast does not fully comprehend the level of talent possessed by NBA athletes, and they may perceive it as a lack of effort. I assure you, these players are indeed putting forth their best efforts," she asserted. "I have a strong appreciation for three-point shooting. Observing players attempting three-pointers brings me great joy, although not everyone shares that enthusiasm." In December, a report from Nielsen indicated that viewership for the group stage of the NBA's newly established tournament experienced a 10% decline compared to the previous year. Conversely, the league's 5 Christmas Day games garnered an average of approximately 5.25 million viewers each across ABC, marking an increase in viewership year over year. The NBA is also facing significant competition from football at this time, and that is an important factor to consider, she remarked. "Football, after all, is America's preferred sport. The topic of the NBA's ratings has consistently generated discussion for nearly 5 years, although it should only concern a limited number of individuals within the league's administrative offices and various broadcasting partners. Numerous debates have emerged regarding the current state of the game and the apparent decline in fan engagement, many of which have been influenced by disingenuous arguments related to the league's political standings. In truth, television ratings are declining for most sports outside of football, and the NBA faces challenges in emulating the NFL's popularity for several reasons, primarily because it does not engage in the sport of football. Nonetheless, this reality has not deterred ongoing debates and initiatives to revitalize the NBA, with this season's discussions focusing on whether teams are excessively reliant on three-point shots, potentially alienating fans due to the significant evolution of the game. The issue of NBA ratings resurfaced in mainstream sports discourse on Thursday when Caitlyn Clark was queried about it during her appearance on the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelce. Clark seized this opportunity to advocate for the NBA, commending the remarkable skills of NBA players and suggesting that part of the concern arises from fans believing players are so exceptionally skilled that it appears they are not exerting themselves. Additionally, she unsurprisingly expressed that she does not view three-pointers as problematic, noting that witnessing players attempt long-range shots is one of her favorite aspects of the game. Honestly, I believe that the typical basketball enthusiast does not fully recognize the high caliber of NBA athletes, and they may perceive it as though the players are not exerting themselves, Clark stated. I assure you, they are indeed striving. They simply excel immensely. This proficiency is why it may appear that they are not putting forth effort. Moreover, the physicality within the league has shifted significantly, and since I was not present during a time when it was markedly more aggressive, perhaps some individuals desire more toughness and perceive the game as having softened. However, I contend that skilled play is also transformed. This is what makes basketball remarkable. It is perpetually advancing. It will differ from the era of MJ, and in a decade, it will not resemble the present. Thus, it is challenging for me to pinpoint the reasons for any perceived decline, particularly since it is currently competing with a considerable amount of football, which must be acknowledged. Football is, after all, America's preferred sport. I personally appreciate three-point shooting and enjoy witnessing players attempt long-range shots, yet not everyone shares that enthusiasm, so I am uncertain. Clark is, of course, inherently inclined to appreciate the ongoing surge in three-point shooting, especially given her involvement in the women's sector. However, I believe she articulates several salient arguments overall. Her observation regarding the continuous evolution of the game is particularly significant, as much of the discourse is dominated by individuals who harbor nostalgia for an era that is no longer applicable. Nostalgia influences numerous elements. There exists a rationale for the abundance of remakes and reboots in cinema and television, yet sports uniquely persist in advancing, albeit occasionally incorporating nostalgia through vintage uniforms. Individuals frequently assert that the most exceptional experiences occurred during their formative years, and this sentiment is undoubtedly prevalent among sports aficionados. Clark emphasizes that the game is in a state of perpetual evolution and always has been, which she asserts is an integral characteristic, not a flaw.